Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
All right. Hello, crypto family. How are you? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Token Metrics Live. Bill, Forrest, what's going on?
Hey, Ian. Hi, good evening.
Awesome. How's your weekend, guys?
Great. Excellent. Beautiful weather.
Ethereum to 3K, right?
Right on. That too.
Yeah, definitely the fireworks. All right. Thank you all for coming in. Let's see who was first on the YouTube channel on Token Metrics. OC Smart Window, what's up? Huni Air, what's up? Mindy, Invest for More, what's up? Eddie, Mikal, Nate, what's up? Mikal, 25 Blake Harris, Iota Sword, The Traveler, how are you? Dan Osborne, what's up? All right. Be sure to smash the like buttons because it's going to be quite the show. So on the agenda for today, May market forecast. Will Ethereum outperform Bitcoin? Is DeFi going to explode? And what about XRP? Will XRP bounce back from the grave and the SEC lawsuit? Tune in will help answer all those questions. Be sure to smash the like button and tell a friend to tell a friend that not being in crypto is a financial crime. Get this video and share this with all your friends on Telegram, on Twitter, Periscope. Spread the word. All right, so on the agenda, we have market update with Bill. We have Forrest doing a VeChain price prediction. Then we'll go to question of the day, thought of the week, and then crypto showdown. We have 3 coins, and we'll tell you which ones we think will have the best month this month. Then we'll also answer your questions. And the Minty code is 75431742. That's 75431742. Go to minty.com, menti.com, and be sure to join Token Metrics and become a customer, because we have some big news coming out next week to all our customers. If you enjoyed the live streams, stay tuned. We have a big announcement to make next week. With that being said, Bill, take it away with the market update.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Noble, and this is your market update. Let's start with Bitcoin. Simply put, you can draw what you like, but I don't see anything to stop Bitcoin if it moves through 56K. It's a pretty simple narrative. People borrowed a lot of money. People borrowed a lot of Bitcoin to speculate elsewhere. All the altcoins that they bought with the borrowed Bitcoin collapsed, and there was a gigantic margin call, which created all the selling. Once you de-lever the system and have a giant margin call like this, it's almost like waking up to rain on a spring morning. All the bad stuff's been cleaned out of the air. Everything is ready for new growth. Bitcoin could easily go to 77K. Now, Ether. There's the normal ETH chart, which is here, showing that if ETH takes out 2956, the next stop's 3200. That's probably a speed bump. The real target is 4000. I don't see any reason why this can't happen in one day. This market is possibly due for a melt up near either the 5th of May or at the end of the month. Okay, XRP, we're going to wind up covering it later. Might as well throw it in here now. 1.6 is resistance, and there's resistance above that at $1.75. If there's a reason to own XRP, it's going to be because whatever they wind up doing with the government, the centralized XRP token will be replaced by some decentralized token. That's the primary reason to do it. If you want to fight the government and own XRP, bless you, I'm with you. But I think you better have a good crypto rationale to be in this trade other than rebellion. Okay, now, if XRP, Ethereum, and frankly, the whole altcoin space continues to trade this way, altcoin market cap is going to break out above 1 trillion. And frankly, I think the inevitable target for altcoins market cap is around 2.5 trillion. We've seen these type of Fibonacci extension levels all over the market. You know, the recent events really shook people up, really shook a lot of people out. And the next phase of the bull market pain trade may be that people are afraid to buy things at their highs, concerned that they may be buying the high, when in fact that type of sentiment does nothing but fuel more and more upside. Audio, it's back. Recently, we saw a penetration up above $1.94, and that was retested today. It's bouncing around, consolidating here. I don't see any reason with the token unlock out of the way, with them running stops down to $1.40, why this can't turn around and go to $4.11. It's like all these other situations, right? When there's a give up trade or a washout and everybody kind of gives up on it, and then no one wants to pay over $2 for it, when in reality, it's going to 4 and probably a lot higher than that. Also of note on audio is the Token Metrics low frequency trend following system just turned bullish on audio. So when we first started talking about audio, it was around 2. There were gymnastics related to a token unlock. Now audio has turned and our moving average system is constructive. Now, moving to the future of Wall Street, leverage, derivatives, etc. Yes, I know. I just said everyone just got washed out of leverage trading and everyone just got crushed. Precisely the perfect time to get involved in things where you can trade on leverage, where you can do DeFi, even on Binance chain, etc. The time to speculate is when all the speculators have been washed out. This leads me to the future of a coin, perp. It's essentially a futures exchange, and volume has been increasing rapidly. Price action in this has been extremely difficult. It went from 5 to 16 on a Binance listing and then went all the way back down to 5. The brutality of having to deal with this action has made it almost impossible to stay long. Does that sound like a good opportunity to you? Meaning everyone's been scared off. It's not a crowded trade. Everyone is like, oh, I can't touch that. Come on, folks. What happens when everyone goes, oh, I can't touch that? 3 months later, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe how much I love it. I'm paying 30, but I didn't want it at 8. Think about it. On a technical analysis point of view, everybody who watches this show and all of our customers know that the teacup and handle formation has been key to identifying altcoin bottoms across every sector. This is a 4-hour chart of perp. I would imagine by the time Monday morning New York time comes around, this will have formed and probably have started to break out. Resistance is above $8.30. In my mind, the short-term upside target is 14. Fibonacci extension suggests 18. And common sense would suggest that if FOMO on perp can send it to 16, actual real investing can send it materially higher than that. Perp is also getting attention for how much supply is being drained out for staking. One of our analysts identified 1 million perp being moved from Binance over to perp's staking platform. Supply of these coins in the future of Wall Street universe is being drained off centralized exchanges rapidly. Speaking of low supply, one of Multicoin and Delphi Digital's investments, Alpha, a DeFi play that allows for interoperability and also interacts with Binance Smart Chain, has recently turned bullish on the Token Metrics trend indicator. This seems reminiscent of back in January when Alpha had a similar signal after doing a decent rally. Now, this, like perp, has just tortured people. Versus Ethereum, Alpha has not done much. On a 4-hour chart versus Ethereum, I'm seeing a teacup, and a handle will probably be formed by May 8th, setting the stage for Alpha to not only rally, but rally versus Ethereum. Now, I've been doing this show since November of 2019. And I have never put a chart up where I could actually draw something that could 100x? We get asked this question every single show. I do the best I can to answer, mostly working in conjunction with our technology teams, but I've never had my own chart. So let's try it with alpha. Flags fly at half mast. That means there's a move, then a flag, then a move. The first move saw alpha move, basically from 0 to 2, which my calculation shows is like, I don't know, 132x. And if alpha goes to 225, in other words, if alpha has another 132x, because that's what the chart setup dictates. You have a move, a consolidation, and then a move. Why can't alpha 100x from 2 to 225? Multi-coin Capital invested in Binance Coin when it traded for 20 cents, claiming it could go to $20. And they think it's now at 600 something. These hedge funds don't get involved in projects that they think are going to 3x. They get involved in projects that can 100x. And our analytics department has shown that alpha has literally been drained from centralized exchanges. That means the next big group of buyers that come in are going to have to bid prices up to get filled. Now, speaking of give up trades, everybody gave up on 1-inch exchange. And 1-inch exchange continues to annoy people by not getting above $5.85, which is a level we have been discussing for a while. I'm noticing that fees on 1-inch have dropped in half, and I'm noticing that they've got an interaction with Binance Smart Chain. When the legacy crowd comes to crypto, they're going to like the user interface on 1-inch. And they're going to like the fact that Mike Novogratz is behind 1-inch. That's not taking anything away from Uniswap or any other DEX. But to think that this isn't going to go the way all the other DEXs went, that this is somehow dead, I think is ridiculous. Now, it's also ridiculous to have to sit here and hold it while everything else moves. The pain trade here is epic. But you were paid to deal with the pain trade in alpha because this range right here lasted from February to May. It was awful. Awful. And the way to get paid in crypto is to basically wait out ranges and give up trades. Which is a nice way of saying what my colleague Forrest often says, well, you want to have good coins at good entry points. Frequently, these consolidations get people twisted around and they're giving up where they should be buying it. I think that was recently the case in 1-inch, and that will continue to reiterate that there is an intellectual and a technical case for this to go higher. Now, if you want to trade or look at the most annoying altcoin ever, it would be the options play Siren. This came out of our code review group with a very high score. It's like 800 or 900 market cap, as we'll show later. By my Elliott wave count, this came out around 4.5 and did a 5-wave move down below $1.50. Now, it could be that Siren is in a new uptrend and we're back in this 2-wave waiting stage, which alpha was in, 1-inch was in, and frankly, going way back, Ethereum was in some months ago. There is going to be room for more than one winner in the future of Wall Street comes to crypto trade. You don't have to like Siren, but you do have to keep an open mind as to what coins can really catch up on a market cap basis. So Synthetics has a market cap that's ranked 57th. Siren is at 899. I know a lot of people like Synthetics, that there's nothing wrong with Synthetics, but it's just the assumed winner in the space. And I think there's room for other players. Continuing on this theme, Aave, which charts and our fundamental analysts think could trade with a 4-digit price tag, currently at a 29 on the market cap charts. Interesting to note that Alpha Finance, with supply vanishing, is at 152 on the market cap chart. So if Aave does a 2x, how high can Alpha go? In other words, this goes back to this idea of where's the next 50x? Ian talked about XRP was 100x at a recent function in Austin, Texas. XRP was right there in front of everyone's face, and it did 100x. One Inch and Perp. Uniswap, the king of the space for good reason, is number 9 on the market cap chart. And almost 100 places below that is 1 Inch. And more than 100 places below that is Perp. So when crypto players who started out using Uniswap are going to want to get leveraged and trade on Perp, and legacy investors who started on Coinbase are going to want to get the DEXs to trade altcoins, the amount of catch-up that the 1 Inch and Perps of the world can do is staggering. Again, going back to this idea that altcoin market cap can trade at 2.5 trillion. I mean, where's audio if altcoin market cap is at 2.5 trillion? Where's Perp? Where's Alpha? Where's Aave? Where's the whole DeFi space? In other words, a lot of people are like, oh, gee, I missed it. I'm upset. I missed it, and then the market went down, so I both missed it, and then I got hurt. Now I don't want to play anymore. I understand how you feel. It sucks. I got it. I'm with you. But the fact of the matter is, frequently the biggest trades unfold right at the point where either people run out of money, they give up, okay, or the supply of whatever it is starts shrinking, meaning smart money is draining it out of the system. I think in this case, we're seeing a lot of evidence that the next leg in DeFi is going to get started. Bitcoin can go with it, but it's an across-the-board crypto rally for the rest of this month. And that's the market update. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So if you enjoyed that market update, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Let's go on to Forrest with the VeChain price prediction.
And one thing I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank our sponsor for the market update, BlockFi. If you've got your crypto, one of the best ways to wait out the slow periods is to drop it and earn interest on it. So if you want to do DeFi and you want to get started, check out our friends at BlockFi. All right, Ian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bill. Let's now go to Forrest with a price prediction.
Hey guys, so VeChain has been on a tear lately, recently peaked at, I believe, 28 cents. It's gone so parabolic lately and performed so well, we've actually had to go in and update our VeChain price scenario models. So in this video, in this segment, we're going to talk about VeChain and its recent price action and where it could be heading next and where it could potentially peak this market cycle. So you can see here, I've got quite a few bands here, just these linear trend lines on a logarithmic scale. VeChain has been dancing off of quite a few of these different trend lines over the course of this market cycle. Recently, we've broken through the bottom, the second green one here, and gone up and tested the top green one, right? followed by about a 50% correction, right? This is a logarithmic scale. So the peak here was at 28 cents. And the bottom of this correction was under 14 cents. So there's a lot of price action and volatility happening just near the top of this chart here because we're on a logarithmic scale. Now, if VeChain can continue this this parabolic run up where it's just been cutting through each of these trend lines, it could potentially go to this white dashed trend line. Now I'm going to zoom in here and I've created a price tree that would show what the corresponding prices of VeChain would be at each of these trend lines that it's already established on August 1st, which would be just 3 months from now, right? It's the beginning of May, so the beginning of August, 3 months from now. And if the bull market can continue and last until another 6 months until the beginning of November, end of October or so. So you can see at the top here, if VeChain could keep this momentum going and break through by August 1st into this dashed trend line, we could see VeChain as high as $1.31, almost double that, $2.39 by November 1st. Now, these are our top parameters. VeChain has shown absolutely no sign of slowing down. Even with this most recent correction, it's found support on the second green trend line down here. But we also do have our bottom parameters built in here with VeChain as low as 5 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents, or 15 cents in this accumulation range. Now, VeChain did fall down here. This is where I would be personally, not financial advice, I'd personally be looking to pick up some VeChain in this accumulation band because historically, buying in this red accumulation band has been a fantastic time to purchase, while selling around these green, taking profits. And you don't have to sell all your VeChain, right? Maybe skimming some off, taking out your initial investment or so around these green trend bands has been a profitable thing to do. All right, so I'm just zooming in here just in case you weren't able to see those. We've got our scenario bottom parameter of 5 cents all the way up to $1.31 by August 1st. And if we can last 3 months longer, $2.39 at the top. Again, we're on a logarithmic scale, so these jumps get quite large, and then 10 cents at the bottom. Now, I also want to show you a picture of Aave, and you may be wondering why am I looking at Aave in a VeChain presentation, right? I could have picked Cardano, I could have picked DOT, could have picked a bunch of different altcoins, right? The reason I could have picked a bunch of different altcoins is a lot of altcoins have fallen out of their trend lines. They've fallen out of their trend lines. Some have gone down. Some have continued to go sideways. Now, as Bill just mentioned, we do expect a lot of these, particularly DeFi coins, to do extremely well and hopefully get back up on their trend lines. But just because VeChain has shown no sign of slowing down doesn't mean that it's impervious to coming back down and potentially testing these lower trend lines. It would be completely reasonable for VeChain to come back down and test this bottom green trend line or come back down and test the yellow trend line, just as it's completely possible that it breaks through this top green trend line and goes on to test the dashed white one up there at the top. Right. So just a word of caution. A lot of times cryptocurrencies can trick you into thinking that it's impossible for them to go down, especially when they're so strong. I'm as bullish on VeChain as anybody. I'm not hating on the project whatsoever, but just a word of caution that Aave went from $27 to $500, right? It could do no wrong until it just chopped sideways for the last couple of months. So a word of caution there. So now let's get into our traditional price scenario matrix where we look at VeChain's dominance and then we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap. And we try to create a matrix for or a range for where we think VeChain could peak at this market cycle. So in our previous VeChain video, our previous VeChain model, we actually predicted a 0.89% dominance would be completely realistic in the near future because we were projecting a 200% overvaluation against this trend line. And that's essentially what we saw. But we saw something a little bit more bullish than that. We saw a 220% overvaluation about 2 months ahead of when our scenario was, right? So we saw 0.82% dominance, slightly lower, but a 220% overvaluation against this linear trend line, right? So now we've had to go in and add another price scenario or another dominant scenario to our model. So before we only were going up to 1% market dominance, but VeChain has shown that 1.5% dominance or maybe even 2 or 3% dominance down the line could be possible. So I have gone in and updated our matrix with 1.5% dominance. Now our total cryptocurrency market cap scenario remains unchanged. I've seen arguments, good arguments and analysis that suggest that maybe a 13 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap could be on the table this market cycle. But we're going to leave our top range at 10 trillion for now. If we need to adjust it later, we can always adjust that up to somewhere between 10 and 15 trillion dollars. But this is essentially just the total cryptocurrency market cap. All of the money in the crypto space right now at about $2.2 trillion. Historically, over the last 7 years, the total cryptocurrency market cap has been growing at an exponential pace because this is a logarithmic view and we've got a linear trend line with occasional parabolic market cycles above this trend line. So if you're in crypto, this chart should make you very, very happy. Now, occasionally we see bear markets and we come back down to this trend line. But overall, the crypto space has been seeing exponential growth for the last 7 or so years. This is great news for everybody that's involved in the space. Now, we're currently on a parabolic separation against this trend line, headed towards potentially $5 trillion by sometime in July, $10 trillion sometime in maybe August or September, right? If the bull market can last that long, of course, we can go back and update this, right? So a $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario by sometime in September or October, August, September rather, would be a 1,200% overvaluation against this trend line, which is in line with what we've seen in the past. Now, we do expect these numbers to decrease over time as the market matures and we see less volatility as the market matures. I also just do want to throw in here that altcoin dominance has been increasing, right? So this is the altcoin show right now. We are in a very clear altcoin market, and VeChain is obviously an altcoin, right? So we can see what happened in the last altcoin market cycle, the last alt season. It went nonstop with one steep correction and then a follow through back up to 67%. Currently, we're only at 52%. This could potentially go up much higher. Now, I would not be surprised if we do maybe come back down and test 50% before finding some support and going back up. Bitcoin has been a little bit laggard compared to Ethereum and a lot of these other cryptocurrencies and altcoins, right? But we are in an alt season, and the speculative investment going on in altcoins is absolutely crazy right now. VeChain is one of people's favorite altcoins to speculate and invest in. So if we cross-reference our market dominance scenarios with our total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios, we're simply multiplying VeChain's market dominance or market share scenarios by our total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios and then dividing by the total number of VeChain tokens or VeChain coins in existence. We can construct a range for a lowest worst case scenario and a highest kind of best case scenario or upper parameter for where we could see VeChain go to this market cycle. So you can see in the bottom here, we've got 12 cents if the total cryptocurrency market cap goes to $3 trillion. And if VeChain were to completely fall out of its trend and revisit 0.25% market dominance, we would see a VeChain lower than where it's at right now, 12 cents. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but I think it's important to include this as a bottom parameter so we can understand that, yes, it is realistic for VeChain to come back down to 12 cents this market cycle. In fact, we just saw it correct from 28 cents down to under 14 cents, right? So this 12 cents isn't that crazy. I think it's important to include these bearish scenarios so we don't get too ahead of ourselves. We also can look at our most bullish scenario where we'd see a $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap and 1.5% market dominance, which I do think is realistically possible for VeChain based on what we've seen from the market dominance chart and the market dominance trend line. That would yield a $2.31 VeChain scenario. Again, I don't think that's the most likely scenario, but I do think it's distinctly possible, and it serves as a good upper bound for where we could see VeChain go this market cycle. That would be essentially a 10x or so from where we're at right now. Now, I've also included these scenarios into chart data as opposed to the table view that we looked at previously. So we've got our $10 trillion market cap scenario in green, 5 trillion in yellow, 3 trillion in red, with our corresponding market dominances down here for VeChain. Now, if you had to ask me personally, what's your personal opinion, Forrest? And again, take this with a grain of salt if you have your own analysis and fundamental view on VeChain, right? If you're extremely bullish on it or extremely bearish on it for whatever reason, feel free to use this scenario matrix, right? These scenario models to draw your own conclusions on what's your favorite predicted outcome. For me, my bearish scenario for VeChain peaking this market cycle would be at about 58 cents. I think it could 2x essentially from where it's at right now. In the worst case scenario or in a bearish scenario. Realistically, I think VeChain could continue the trend that it's on and see 77 cents this market cycle, a 3x from its all-time high or so. And in a bullish scenario, I think VeChain could challenge the $1 point, the $1 price point this market cycle, and potentially get to $1.15, right? All of these three scenarios are in this $5 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario. This is the one that I personally like right now because it's not too optimistic, and we can always adjust later on as we approach $5 trillion. Then we can maybe put 10 trillion or 12 or 13 trillion dollars on the table, depending on how long it takes us to reach this $5 trillion market cap valuation. So that's the VeChain scenario model, scenario matrix. I hope it was helpful.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. So if you enjoyed that price prediction, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next segment. Okay. All right. So next segment, question of the day. Will Ethereum outperform Bitcoin in May? The options are 1, yes, 2, no, 3, hard to say. Go to menti.com and tell us what you think. The code is 75431742. That's 75431742. Bill, what's your take? Do you think ETH will have the month in May?
I do. So the answer is yes. And my reason is as follows. Coinbase users are going to discover MetaMask, Uniswap, and decentralized exchanges. Over the summer, ETH gas fees are going to drop, and trading on a DEX will look just like trading on Coinbase. Also, I think once ETH gas fees drop, Coinbase is going to be under more pressure to add more and more coins, right? In other words, to keep the news flow fresh, they're going to have to be adding coins each week. These are all or mostly going to be in the Ethereum DeFi universe. So I think anybody who trades on a DEX is going to want ETH. And I think there's a lot of new people who are going to want ETH. ETH supply is disappearing. Our fundamental analysts at Token Metrics can give you more detail on that. And I also think looking at ETH's price visually relative to Bitcoin, it's a lot easier for people to jump in.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Forrest, what do you think?
I'm going to say hard to say. And I'm as big of an Ethereum bull as anybody. I actually believe that Ethereum is likely going to flip Bitcoin within the next several years. And that's a bold prediction. A lot of Bitcoin lovers don't like that. Even people that like Ethereum a lot might not believe that Ethereum can do that. I think it can, but because the question is focused on the month of May over the next 30 days, I'm going to say hard to say, because if I can share my screen here, there are 3 confluent points of resistance that Ethereum is seeing right now based off of its most recent rally, right? So if we're looking at Ethereum's dominance, you can see these red boxes I've drawn that it's had trouble getting back onto this trend line and sustaining it over time. Now, I think that this could be the time, third time's the charm, that Ethereum does that and continues to run on. I hope so, but I would not be surprised in the month of May if it needs to come back down and potentially test this. We've also got Ethereum Bitcoin, right? And right now it looks like Ethereum is breaking out against Bitcoin. But again, you can see this channel I've drawn here. I'll zoom in a little bit. I would not be surprised if Ethereum Bitcoin needs to come back down during the month of May and maybe test the top of this channel before it launches into space in June and July with EIP 1559 closer on the horizon. We've also got some margin, some leveraged buyers that are leveraged buying behavior that's going to be drying up, already is starting to dry up as we move above 2880 and as we approach 3074. So there's going to be some 2x leveraged buying pressure that is going to be exiting the market. And I think we need to come back down and potentially find support on these two. So I'm going to be on the fence on this one because it's short term and we're looking at just May. But long term, I believe Ethereum is going to continue to crush it, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong for putting doubt out there into the world.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to say as well, but right now I'm still very, very bullish on Ethereum, especially leading up until the London hard fork, because that's happening basically this in July or so. And I believe as we get closer and closer, people are going to begin to realize that Ethereum now has the potential, the actual potential, as you mentioned, to flip Bitcoin, to now become ultra sound money. Not just sound money as Bitcoin is, but becoming even more deflationary than Bitcoin. And I think this narrative is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we approach the London hard fork. So essentially, I'm saying this might be an instance whereby the rumor sell the news works. And I believe maybe when it comes to July, it might be time for Ethereum to maybe peak or maybe have a correction. But up until then, I'm basically all the way into ETH. So I'd have to say, even though it's hard to say, I'd have to go with yes if I had to pick. All right, so let's see what the audience thinks. All right, and the winner is yes. So the audience believes Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in May. All right, thank you all for voting. Let's now go on to thought of the week. Are we going to see another wave of DeFi summer in 2021? The options are 1, it's already here. It's already arrived. Second option, yes, it's coming. Third option, I don't think so. Let's go to Forrest. What do you think? Do you think we'll have a DeFi summer?
Yes, I'd say the second answer, yes, it's coming. I don't think it's here quite yet, but with EIP 1559 on the horizon for Ethereum in July. I think June and July could be spectacular months for Ethereum. And when Ethereum pumps, usually DeFi protocols built on Ethereum do extremely well in addition to that.
All right, Bill, what do you think?
I think we're just seeing like green shoots of the DeFi forest popping through the soil now. So it's not here at the moment. Compound and Aave have done well, but there hasn't been a DeFi rally across the space. I believe that is coming. It could be in conjunction with ETH going parabolic, or ETH could find a zone between 4 or 5, and then the action that drives altcoin market cap higher is actually from the DeFi space, with the lending system becoming more or less the traditional financial system. In other words, last DeFi summer was kind of like what happened with NFTs. It was sort of like the crypto casino. And that's fine. The crypto casino is fun and it spurs innovation. This time, the reason it's taking a little bit of time to get started and it's not entirely obvious yet, so it's not here yet, is because the second wave is going to involve money from the legacy system coming into DeFi to get returns. This is coming. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. Waiting is the toughest part.
All right. Thank you, Bill. That was very poetic, as the audience is saying in the comments. Okay. So I think it's possible, right? I feel like right now DeFi has been on the up and up, and I don't really see how DeFi will stop, especially as Ethereum is getting more and more interest from institutional investors. So if anything, I think, yes, it's coming. Because I think right now, the alt season we have seen is nowhere close to anything that's possible, right? Obviously, this is not based on TA. This is just kind of based on just my fundamental thoughts in terms of how vital Ethereum is going to become to the ecosystem and to all of crypto, and eventually flip Bitcoin. But I think that will be on the backs of DeFi. Okay, so let's see what the audience has voted. Yes, so the audience also agrees with us. Yes, it's coming. All right, let's go on to the next segment. Time for Crypto Showdown. All right, so which is your top altcoin pick for May? Go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 75431742. That's 75431742. And tell us what coin you think will have the best month in May. The options are 1, PancakeSwap, also called Cake, then Polygon / Matic, and then Dogecoin or Doge. Bill, so out of these 3 coins, which one do you think will have the best month in May?
All right. My answer is Matic, Polygon. And here's why. This is an object in motion, right? In other words, this has been underappreciated for a long time. And I remember when Token Metrics was speaking to the Matic team, that they told us that after doing work with Ethereum, that let's just say a big player in the Oracle space, their second connection was going to be to Matic. This is on Coinbase, and it trades for 75 cents or 80 cents. It's amazing how, you know, the XRPs, the Dogecoins of the world get a lot of interest because they have visually low prices. If there's going to be another leg in DeFi and you want to play interoperability on Coinbase and can't get access to DOT and don't really want to do Cardano, I don't see any reason why Matic's market cap can't expand. Now, the other 2 coins, Pancake and Doge, you know, I think there's been a lot of speculation in those coins and a lot of people already hold them. So there's a lot of people who have bought these things on apps and they're waiting for someone else to take them out of their bags. That might work, but I would rather be in something where no one seems interested in this coin. No one wants to look at it, yet it just continues to methodically go up, and it's really just started a parabolic move, right? So if I just draw this, right, this type of a trend line where, you know, something like Matic falls below it, like what Forrest was doing, right? And everyone gets out right there. That was in April, right? So everybody gave up on this thing, what, 2 weeks ago? And then it went from 40 to 80. Now, when you ask, as people do in the Ask Me Anything, what's the next 100x? What's the next 10x? What's the next 50x? No one but Ian ever talks about Matic. Ian talks about it, but no one else does. So people love the other 2 coins, and, you know, if that's their first crypto experience, great. But folks, this is on Coinbase Pro, okay? And anybody who feels like they missed it once DeFi starts is coming after this, and there's a narrative behind it. So that would be my answer for the upcoming month.
All right, thank you, Bill. Let's go to Forrest.
Yeah, so I could put it simply and just say out of these 3 coins, only one of them is in Ian's portfolio. and that's Matic. So based off of that alone, I would probably say Matic. Going to PancakeSwap, I'm not a big fan of Binance Smart Chain. I think it's extremely vulnerable to other smart contract networks that are experiencing a lot of development, Avalanche and Solana to be particular. And I'm not a big fan of meme coins. They just don't fit. And you can make a ton of money off them. Dogecoin has been one of the best investments this market cycle. So I recognize that, but it just doesn't fit into my personal investment strategy. Matic has had a big move recently. It's overextended a little bit, but it could potentially continue the momentum, as Bill was saying, where it just continues to go up. It's also the lowest market cap out of each of these tokens. I believe Dogecoin's number 6 in total in market cap ranking. PancakeSwap is number 26, and I think Matic is number 36. So it also has the most growth potential, and it plays into the Ethereum scalability narrative that I think as Ethereum does well, so will Matic.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Yeah, and I don't think I'd have to reiterate myself. I would say Polygon, Matic. I mean, obviously I've been in this for a while, and last time we covered this last year. I think Matic was, if we go to CoinGecko, they were all the way down. I think at some point they were even the top 100 market cap. Then they were hanging around the top 90 for a bit. And we mentioned that even then we were very bullish on Matic Network, Polygon now. And we believe that this can be a top 20 coin. And I believe I mentioned top 20 specifically when they pivoted to Polygon and becoming the internet of blockchains for layer 2 scaling. And right now, Polygon has been on a tear. It's up over 100% in the last 1 week, and it's currently ranked 36 in market cap. So we have 16 more spots to go for this to enter the top 20. So my target is not quite there yet, but let's see. So right now it is 36 with a market cap of 4.8 billion. So for it to enter the top 20, it's basically gonna double. So we're looking at almost $10 billion market cap is my target for Matic. So I think that's possible. Right now, the team has been executing. I saw a stat on Twitter that there are almost as many transactions running on Polygon now as they are on the Ethereum network, which is pretty mind-blowing. And I think somebody even mentioned that if you take all the other blockchains meant to compete with Ethereum and you combine all the transactions happening on them, they still don't top Matic or Polygon. So very, very bullish on this project long term. So as a result, I think it's going to have a great month this month. Now, Dogecoin, as Forrest mentioned, that's a meme coin. Yes, it can pump based on Robinhood or based on just social media, but it's not anything I personally would have long term in my portfolio. Then the same thing with PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap has actually done very, very well, basically building their own DEX on BSC. But Binance Smart Chain Binance will always be Binance, but I think they're getting lots of competition, especially now with Solana, with all these other blockchains trying to compete from Cardano as well. So I think as all these new projects enter the space, it might be tough for PancakeSwap and Binance to really compete. Okay, so let's see what the audience has said. All right, and the winner is for top altcoin pick for May. Drum rolls, please. Matic, Polygon is a winner. So the audience, 3 for 3. The audience, great minds think alike, as they say. All right, so let's move on to, let's actually skip this for now. Apologies. I just moved here in Austin, so I'm in the process of getting everything put together. Time for us to discuss XRP. Love it or hate it, the banker's coin. So this question comes from the forum. Go to forum.tokenmetrics.com to pose your question. So Ripple Inc. versus the SEC, the general consensus out there on social media is that the SEC are on the cusp of some sort of capitulation. And the second that happens, it will trigger some sort of explosion in the price of XRP. People are maintaining the notion that the sole reason for the current value is suppression through investor uncertainty. Is that the case though? Does it have the utility to be big? Obviously, there are a lot of wild numbers being thrown about, crazy price predictions that don't match the market cap, etc. What are Tokenmetrics' thoughts on this? Are people going big now on XRP to catch that bounce to the moon, or has it had its day in court? Very, very good question. Bill, what do you think about XRP?
This is a question that just keeps on coming. So let's talk about the people who like XRP. People who like XRP rarely seem to mention that XRP is sort of the coin of the company Ripple. And a lot of people don't talk about the fact that Ripple has a substantial holding in XRP. So if their lawyers do pull off a victory against the government, yes, XRP will go up. If you're long now, you will make money, probably, but you will be racing Ripple and their executives to sell into the rally because they've got something like 60% of the total supply. So I'm not hating on XRP, but what makes XRP go up and doesn't lead to Ripple Inc. selling as soon as it stops going up? Well, I have an answer in that XRP, if they get away with this and beat the government, they would have to be insane to leave themselves open to any future litigation. They've got to get XRP off the market and airdrop or somehow reissue a decentralized version of XRP that somehow takes advantage of their network, or just flat out make a new network and fork their own code. I don't know if any of these things are possible. I'm sure they can be debated by people who know a lot about technology. I do know this. The best reason to own XRP is that Ripple Inc. is going to have to do an airdrop for a decentralized token. Even if they beat the government, they have to replace XRP. Because if the SEC doesn't get them now, they might get them later, and that doesn't even bring in civil litigation. So why take the risk? Just go decentralized. So XRP holders may wind up like people who traded on Uniswap. They may just get airdropped the token out of nowhere. But if they don't do anything decentralized, yeah, there could be a rally, but you're going to see big sellers up top.
Ian, I think we lost your audio.
Oh, sorry. Forrest, what do you think about the XRP and the SEC?
Yeah, so with XRP, you have to look at it in terms of risk-adjusted returns. Could there be good returns? Could it maybe even 2x or 3x? Maybe even more if they win the case. Sure. But keep in mind, they're already at number 4 in terms of market cap ranking. How much higher can Ripple seriously go? Is it going to 100x? No way. Not this market cycle, right? Then you have to factor in. So we're kind of estimating the potential returns of being not that good. Not to mention what Bill already talked about of Ripple Labs dumping the supply on you as the price is going up. So that too is going to cap your returns. Look at the risk. If we factor in the risk is extremely high, probably much higher than any other cryptocurrency currently in the top 10 right now. They're being sued by the SEC. They're investigated by the SEC. That's not where I want to have a large portion of my money. So the potential returns are low, I would say, and the potential risk is high. That is a mismatch that I don't want to be involved in. Now, I don't hate XRP as much as I used to. I've actually just changed my views on it. To me, XRP, a lot of people hate it because of the centralization and supply issues that Bill mentioned, as well as just the tokenomics overall aren't great. But what Ripple does have going for it, what XRP does have going on for it is partnerships. XRP is like that guy that everybody knows that just continues to get ahead in life because they're well networked. Maybe they come from a very wealthy family, they have very wealthy friends, They don't have to work very hard to get ahead in life, right? They just know everybody and they just continue to fall into success, right? XRP has the partnerships. They've built RippleNet and onboarded big financial institutions into RippleNet. The World Economic Forum, I was reading a headline earlier, looking at it now, it says World Economic Forum names XRP as crypto asset most relevant in central bank digital currency spaces, right? So they're very well networked and have a lot of phenomenal partnerships despite their bad tokenomics. And what we're seeing is that might be enough, or it has been enough, to keep it in the top 10. But looking at this from risk-adjusted returns, it's a mismatch for me personally. I don't think it's worth it. So many better places to have your money.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Yeah, I mean, I think this is very, very challenging. But if you're an XRP fan, I think it definitely does make sense to be more optimistic on XRP, especially if they're able to go to court and win against the SEC. I think that's going to be a landslide victory for all of crypto, because now for the first time, we'll be able to get actual clarity in terms of what the SEC views crypto as securities or not, and the exact threshold they have to achieve. So I think, if anything, regardless of what happens in this case, whether XRP will win or lose, or I think the whole space will have clarity for the first time in a long time. And I think as a result of that, if anything, I just see crypto going up, because people now will have clarity. Entrepreneurs, founders, people who want to build blockchain applications, especially in the US, will know exactly what to do. Right? So I think long term, that's going to be very, very bullish for all of crypto. Now, would I personally put my money in XRP right now? No. However, if you're trading it, going to token metrics, our visual trends indicator has been bullish on XRP since around 47 cents. And it's not changed. It's still bullish on XRP for anybody out there who's trading it. If we go to the low frequency, same thing. It's been bullish on XRP since 52 cents. So all that is still bullish. So if you're trading it, I'll keep on trading it, not financial advice, until maybe the visual trends indicator turns bearish. But long term, I personally don't have any plans to put money in XRP. However, I think regardless of the case, I think it's going to be very big for crypto, and it's going to bring a bigger bull run. Okay, tell us what you think. Do you think XRP will win versus the SEC or not? Post down below in the comments. Okay, let's go on to the next segment. So time for Ask Token Metrics Anything. Go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 75431742. Okay, so the first question, any news on Liquity? It goes down quite a lot from last time you guys mentioned it. I don't believe there's any news to my knowledge, but let's take a look. So let's pull up Liquity and token metrics. Now, I believe the only news I know is, I think maybe tokens are unlocking, but I don't think that should be any news. Hold on, just give me 1 second. What's going on here? Bill of Force, do you guys know any news for Liquity recently in the last week? Because I did see the price was going down drastically.
I haven't heard any news. I just think it's probably the dilution. But I mean, the reason I'm in Liquity is, well, for one, for the long term, but also because it's such a cash flow positive token, and just by staking it, you can earn significant stablecoin yield. So, you know, for me, it's not a bad coin to hold long term and be able to hold through a dip.
Yeah, I mean, actually, because when I saw the price tank to under 20 bucks, I was thinking of buying some more myself. So looking at this, okay, I see the APY is only 23%. Then the APR for staking is 47%. Okay, so I see the APY did drop drastically, because it's been as high as 800% the first few weeks, then it's dropped. So I think maybe that could be a catalyst. Maybe people who were in it just for staking, for the high yield farming, now want to get out because the APY has dropped. I think maybe that could partially be the reason why. But for me, I'm bullish on this long term. If anything, this actually makes it very attractive to buy some more. Bill, any comments on Liquity?
Yes. So if you can see my chart here, This is the 1 hour chart of Liquity. And gee, what's everyone doing? They're giving up. It looks like they're giving up hard, right? The normal crypto weekend program is up on Saturday, down on Sunday. Institutional players, I think, hit everything on Sunday so that they can buy it in Asia and European time on Monday. This token is right back where it was on April 18th. Now, as Forrest just hinted, what exactly has changed about the long-term vision for this project in 2 weeks? Nothing. People who were playing around, who were looking for yield, playing the game, they got hosed. Everybody has gotten hosed in crypto, particularly if you were trying to play the APY or leverage game. So when you want to have good tokens at good entry prices, frequently you get those good entry prices when everyone's giving up. Now, am I calling a bottom in this because of a token unlock? I don't know. Maybe what they have to do is do something a little bit more scary and take out 17 for a half a day and then reverse it. But the bottom line is, everyone loves it at 50 and everyone's dumping it at 17. And I know I should give Forrest something to say about it, but it will become a Token Metrics legendary saying when he said on one of our calls, "Don't sell the dip."
All right. Thank you, Bill. Don't sell the dip. Next Token Metrics t-shirt coming. All right. So next question. Hi, what do you think about Carvertical? And what is your top 2 altcoins to buy in May with the entry price? I really appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Okay, Carvertical, don't really think much of it. I haven't really done any analysis on it, but just going to the trends indicator on Token Metrics. This turned bearish on the high frequency, so maybe worth keeping that in mind. But let's go to the other question. Top 2 altcoins to buy in May. I think we kind of covered this, right? The ones we were bullish on. But the ones I'm personally looking to buy in May, I'm looking to probably buy some more liquidity. I want to make that a larger part of my portfolio. So especially with the price dipping below $20, that makes it even more attractive. I was part of the Integral DEX token sale. So that was last month, but very, very bullish on that. May look to buy some more when it launches this month, I believe, in terms of trading. So those are 2 coins on my radar. I still have Kind Protocol. I haven't bought yet. It's still on my watch list. My watch list is pretty long, but I would say that's one on my watch list. How about you, Forrest? Are there 2 coins you plan to buy in May?
So I kind of shuffled around and bought some stuff during the dip and kind of am more focused on moving around some DeFi stuff, hopefully consolidating down into some positions that I can take larger profits on. I'm not eyeing anything in particular to buy in May. I will say I have several leveraged longs still in from this most recent dip. I've got a leveraged long in on Polkadot, Bitcoin, and actually recently closed my Ethereum one to add to my Bitcoin one based off of potential resistance and the fact that I have so much spot, Ethereum that I don't mind in my trading account moving that to Bitcoin. So, really just trading some different levels and not looking at any particular investments until any score well on code reviews.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Bill, are there any projects you plan to buy this month?
I would like to get some more. I would like to get involved in Armor, possibly on a dip to 90 cents. Not investment advice. I definitely want to start building in Audius. My strategy there was to wait until there was a breakthrough resistance indicating that this token unlock phase may have ended. And I'm not even going to lie. I'm adding to perp and alpha on any material dip until further notice. Period.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Now to our audience, tell us what coins you plan to buy in May down below in the comments, and we'll go through and check that out. Okay. All right. I think we kind of already covered Definity last week, so not really anything new. Okay. Next question. Hello, guys. Any thoughts on ZRX? I think it's undervalued by many multiples because it's the backbone of DeFi. I would say that's wrong. I mean, ZeroX maybe back in 2017, but ZeroX has been caught sleeping on the wheel, in my opinion, and other projects have come and just really replaced it. Right? So it's not really the backbone of DeFi. The backbone of DeFi, I would say, are Uniswap, Monex Exchange, Aave, Synthetics, right? Because if we go to DeFi Llama, ZeroX is nowhere to be seen, pretty much, right? So I don't really see how it's the backbone of DeFi when it's not anywhere close on this list, right? So ZeroX, it's not even on this list anymore, right? So I don't see how this is the backbone of DeFi at all, right? The backbones of DeFi are Aave. I mean, even PancakeSwap has a better claim to the backbone of DeFi currently. We have MakerDAO, Wrap Bitcoin, Compound. Because if we go to DEXs, right, ZeroX is really more of an infrastructure project, but it's not really the backbone of DeFi, in my opinion. So going back to your question, thoughts on it? I don't really think of it at all, to be honest. Bill, how about you?
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Here's the deal. One of our analysts helped me by turning my head away from things that did well in 2017. Now, Bitcoin has obvious value, and I probably will never shut up about Dash, but he is trying to get me off 2017 and try to get my head into 2021 and 2022. I don't think there's anything wrong with ZRX. I think that if you're going to make money off this, then you will have to study it and know what catalysts, if any, are coming. If you're just looking for a DeFi coin, this may not be it. It looks like, going back to November of last year, that the move to 2.5 kind of brought the whole party to an end, meaning the easy money has kind of been made. So yeah, there's a better play, but if you've studied it and you like it, great. There's always room for surprises. I would personally love it if ZRX mooned, because can you imagine where the rest of the space would be? So I'm not in a position to lecture you about underappreciated coins, because I just lectured you about underappreciated coins. All right. All I know is in my underappreciated coins, I understand the catalyst trades. And if you're doing ZRX, I would encourage you to try to understand what catalysts there are in the future, other than a bunch of people are opening accounts on Coinbase.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Forrest, any comments on ZRX?
I would agree with and echo everything Bill just said. It's really not been on my radar as far as projects that I'm looking into or studying. But yeah, if you're going to trade it, you're potentially going to want to make sure you know any potential catalyst events coming up. But I don't really have much to add other than that.
All right. Thanks, Forrest. Okay. So next question. Previously, you said Quickswap can't compete. Now it did a 15x in 1 week. Yes, it did. What's a good target for Quickswap? Still too undervalued. Good question. So maybe Bill or Forrest could pull that up. Let's pull this up also on Token Metrics. So currently, its market cap is basically 288. Looking at this, basically the visual trends indicator has been bullish since $419. It went to 1413. I mean, sorry, 1439. Dropped a lot. I mean, right now, I mean, for those who don't know, Quickswap is basically a DEX on Polygon. It's basically a fork of Uniswap on Polygon, to my knowledge. But I mean, Uniswap v3 is coming, so like long term, I would still pick that over Quickswap, right? But Quickswap has definitely done pretty well recently. Bill, do you have the TA on Quickswap?
I do. Okay, very interesting picture here. So Quickswap goes way up and then comes down to the 62% retracement around 812. Okay, it held there. All right, now it looks like it could challenge the high and print 2000. I'll never get in front of some speculative fever coin as long as it's doing things like holding 62% retracement on a deep correction. Now, that said, everybody's chasing Quickswap. No one's talking about perp. Meanwhile, perp is being drained off centralized exchanges. So I'm glad Quickswap is stealing the headlines. The stuff that steals the headlines will make you money in the short term, but it will not be, or actually, let me rephrase. It could distract you from good long-term investments. So that's how I would look at Quick.
All right, Forrest, any comments on Quickswap?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be projects that don't meet your investment criteria that end up pumping. It just is what it is. But if you constantly invest in projects that don't meet your investment criteria, you're going to have way more losers than winners. So while yes, Quickswap has pumped, I mean, it's essentially, again, echoing what Ian said, to my knowledge, a fork of Uniswap that's on Matic. And I personally don't know that it's going to compete long term with these other dexes. It's actually still very low market cap in comparison to a lot of these other dexes. But the thing to note here for me is just understanding that you can't catch everything. And if you try to invest in stuff that doesn't meet your investment criteria, you'll just end up with way more losers than winners. There's always going to be those outliers where, like Quickswap, that does extremely well. Even BNB is a perfect example for me. I'm not a big fan of Binance Smart Chain, and it has absolutely crushed a lot of other investments in this market, but it doesn't meet my personal investment criteria. Same thing with Dogecoin. Phenomenal investment in this market cycle. It doesn't meet my investment criteria. Just having my money sitting in Dogecoin or BNB, I think is higher risk. So I avoid those. So I think it just comes down to what your investment thesis is and sticking to it. But there's always going to be things that pump that don't fit your thesis.
All right. Well said. All right. So thank you, Forrest. Thank you, Bill. Let's move on to a different question. When is the time to move to small cap altcoins, and which ones do you recommend? Okay, very good question. Very good question. I mean, there's so many different strategies of doing this. Let's begin with Forrest.
Yeah, so let me see if I can really quickly pull up altcoin dominance. There we go. So we looked at this chart a little bit earlier. This is what I personally, actually, I've already got a screenshot of it here, right? So this is what I personally use to know when to invest in altcoins. When Bitcoin is winning the altcoin dominance battle, right? When altcoin dominance is beaten down by Bitcoin, down here towards the bottom, and where altcoin dominance is below this blue mid trend line, that's when I'm personally looking to move out of Bitcoin, out of some of the higher cap altcoins, and speculate on altcoins and particularly small caps. Now we're in the heart of alt season, and a lot of the larger cap tokens have already really been running. Perfect example that we looked at earlier in this segment was VeChain. VeChain has already been running. Can it potentially go higher? Yes, we said, potentially, best case scenario, we're looking at a 10x. But if we're looking for something that can 15, 25, 50x, 100x, we might want to start turning our attention to the smaller caps. So we're in a confirmed alt season. We could potentially go much higher based off of our previous market cycle. This is when I'd be potentially looking at smaller cap altcoins if you haven't been looking at them this entire altcoin jump here. What was the other the ones that we recommend? That was the other half of that question.
Yes, yeah. Which small caps do we recommend?
Yep. So I mean, I can kind of walk through my portfolio a little bit. Again, not financial advice. Audio still, not even in the top 100 yet. I would consider that relatively small cap. I'm big into audio, obviously. Liquity seems to have just presented a phenomenal buying opportunity. I like Liquity as well. Those are my two big ones that are small cap. I do like Rarible, even though it's not something that we were able to code review because the GitHub is locked. I do like Rarible though. I also like Rari governance token. I think it's something that's been chopping sideways for a really long time. It's something that one of our DeFi analysts identified a while back, and I think it has merits as a yield aggregator. And I'm still sitting on my Rari governance token and being patient.
All right, thank you. First, Bill, what do you think? So when is it time to move to small cap altcoins?
Okay. So one of the things that I like to do after I get hurt on a market call is I like to go into a research and development phase on TA, right? And one of the things that everyone does with TA is they analyze price. And I'm turning my analysis towards analyzing time, cycles. In other words, how much time is there between, an altcoin pump, or how much time is there between big Bitcoin pumps? To me, it looks like altcoins seem to do well. I think 12 days after a full moon. Altcoins in general do well after a full moon. And I think this sort of time cycle, because I know someone out there's laughing. Ian probably fell off his chair. The fact of the matter is,
wait a minute, Bill. Full moon?
A thousand years ago, right? If you asked someone what time it was, they didn't have a watch. They looked up at the sky to try to figure out the time and day and month. So some of these altcoins are so small. Look, I don't have it nailed down. It's going to take me months of research. But the key, I think, with the small coins isn't, does it follow Bitcoin or does it follow Ethereum? The question is, does the speculative juices in the market that drive altcoins have any type of time pattern to it? Whether it's full moons, or I've been looking into something like every 45 days. So it's still under development, but I think when you're looking at small alts, like some of this stuff that's like 200 to 800 market cap, the key ingredient is time. Stay tuned for further developments.
All right, thank you, Bill. Okay, so my comments on when it's time to move into small cap altcoins. One, I would say generally during alt season, and alt season is typically when Bitcoin dominance is decreasing drastically, right? So typically when Bitcoin is going sideways and it's not rallying, when Bitcoin is going sideways, or if it's even crashing and people have already made profits on Bitcoin and they're cashing out to then move those profits into altcoins. So I would say that's typically a good time. Now, honestly, the real winners, the small caps, sometimes the best time is when nobody's really investing. And I would say that's basically the bear market, right? Like Helium, we found Helium in a bear market back in 2018, 2019. Same thing with Matic, Polygon, because there's less competition. Because in general, you want to buy low, sell high as a value investor, And buying low means you have to buy when the market is correcting. You want to buy from pessimists and sell to optimists, right? That's basically as simple as it gets. So if you take that same concept and apply it to small cap investing, you want to buy when people are selling at a discount. Basically, like pandemic last year, 12 months ago, around March, May last year, prices were just crashing. The market crashed 40% in one day, and that was the best time to buy, right? It was scary time to buy, but it was the best time to buy, right? So if you're asking the question in terms of when's the best time to buy, honestly, when the market corrects 40% in one day, right? But most people don't have the fortitude to buy the dip. As Bill mentioned, most people want to buy something at 50 and sell at 20, right? But that's not the way to make money investing. And in terms of what small caps do I like, I mean the same ones we keep on talking about, right? So I would say if you like small caps, definitely join Token Metrics. We have a daily newsletter. We have Forrest putting out weekly coins that our team goes through and we'll do research on. Then we also have code reviews on products we like. So I would say if you like small caps, to go check that out. All right, thank you for that question. Let's move on. Okay, how much of your portfolio would you invest in Ethereum right now, today, if you are new to crypto? At around 3K, would you wait for a dip or just FOMO, knowing price will go up with the bulls? All right, very interesting question. Bill.
Okay. This is the weekly and perhaps eternal question, which is, hi, I just got here. What do I do? So let's go through the playbook. I think the best way to learn the system is to have small portions of your total portfolio in just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everyone I seem to talk to thinks that they have to show up at crypto, take all their money, and get it invested right away. What I suggest is take 10% of what you are going to put in and just put it and split it between Bitcoin and ETH and just watch it. And what will happen is your brain will just laser focus on the price action because your own money is involved. You know, if ETH goes up 10%, you'll be excited. If ETH dumps 10%, you'll be in a bad mood, even if it's a small amount of money. Now, I think it's worth it to wait by investing a small amount of money to learn the game. Because if ETH's going at 10,000, you don't want to be the person who put all your money in at one of Forrest leveraged resistance points at 2,900, sold ETH at 2,200, only to have it turn around and go to 6,000. So put a little in so you learn. And that little bit of learning turns into a lot of profit later. Because as you get a feel for the game or as you get winning investments, you can start pushing more and more money in gradually. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bill. First, how about you? What would you do if you're brand new to crypto?
Yeah, so if I can show my screen here, this is a difficult question because if we look at the regression bands that have historically signaled on Bitcoin, and I know your question's about Ethereum, but Bitcoin ultimately leads the entire bull market until you know something dethrones it and says otherwise. For right now, Bitcoin runs the market, right? So we are in this little bit of a bubble here. We're above the red regression band. We've been above it for quite a while now. But as you can see from where I've drawn these tops and the pattern that we get, the sharp test of the top and then the sharp decrease where Bitcoin doesn't come back and retest, it only hits the level once. It doesn't look like we're currently at one of those points. In fact, every time I've identified Bitcoin testing and retesting a certain price point, that price point being roughly $60,000 or so, Bitcoin has gone on to break through and rally against that price point, right? So this isn't a sharp test in a market top. It doesn't appear to be, at least, right? So we are in a bubble, and historically, when we're in a bubble, we do come back down to these yellow or green bands. The market does capitulate, enter a bear market eventually. That being said, it doesn't appear to be the worst time within this bubble to actually be putting some money in. If I didn't have any exposure to crypto at all, I would want exposure to the fastest growing asset class in the world right now, right? I think I had a chart up over here. This is total cryptocurrency market cap. This is an asset class that for the last 7 years has been experiencing exponential growth. So yes, absolutely, I would want some exposure. But like Bill said, that doesn't mean you have to throw FOMO all your money into ETH, right? You can diversify. You can buy some Bitcoin. You can buy some Ethereum. You can diversify into Cardano, Polkadot. You can pick up some small cap coins. You can pick up Matic. You can pick up some of the things that we're talking about, audio, right? But you don't have to do it all at once. You can also take profits later this market cycle and get your initial investment out if you do well. If the total cryptocurrency market cap 2x's, 3x's, 5x's, and some of the projects you're invested in 5x, 10x, or 15x, you can take your initial investment out and wait and not have to worry about potentially losing money. So would I FOMO everything in now? No, I'd probably start to pick and choose some places, maybe try to get it on some dips, but I definitely would want some exposure despite the fact that we're in a little bit of a bubble so far. Oops, Ian, I think we lost your audio.
Apologies. Okay. Yeah. So to answer the question, what I would do if I had my portfolio in Ethereum, I mean, I'll put everything in Ethereum. If I'm brand new to crypto, as I mentioned before, I have no Bitcoin, right? So if I'm brand new to crypto, I would skip Bitcoin, go put everything into Ethereum. Ethereum is basically my store of value, my stable coin. And then I would look for other investments and just be patient, right? Whether it's taking my ETH and buying Liquity or buying Perp or buying Alpha or buying Polygon. But basically, the way I view it is my store of value is Ethereum because I'm bullish on Ethereum long term. I believe Ethereum will surpass Bitcoin in market cap and value. I think eventually we'll have a flippening where Ethereum is the biggest cryptocurrency in the world. So as a result of that, I would have everything in Ethereum. That's my ultra sound money, not Bitcoin, right? And not even stable coins, right? If I want stable coins, unless I'm going in and out, or unless I'm doing something to earn yield on stable coins, I wouldn't really be having any stable coins, right? So basically I would have Ethereum, then I would look for other investments to make. Okay, all right, so thank you for that question. Thoughts on Zilliqa? All right, so let's have Bill and Forrest maybe pull that up on their end. I'll also pull this up here on Token Metrics. So Zil is a good project. The technology is pretty good. We've done a code review on this. Right now, its market cap is 60th. Looking at this, the visual trends indicator did turn bullish again at about 20 cents for the low frequency. And if we go to the high frequency, it turned bullish as well at 20 cents. So, but I mean, I think right now, it's not a project I personally would invest in long term because what they're trying to do, ETH 2.0 will basically do, right? So I don't really see any reason to put money in ZIL long term. I mean, unless you like it for some other reasons, but the whole premise was being a fast blockchain. But I don't really know any developers building applications on there, right? At the same level as Ethereum. So right now, developers really have just cornered the market on Ethereum. I mean, if anything, even Cardano, Binance Smart Chain, all those other projects, they have more applications on them, to my knowledge, right? So I think while the technology is good, it's not the greatest, and I think the community of developers needs to grow better. Bill?
All right, so bringing up the chart here. So I think this is very reminiscent of the question we just got asked about ZRX. Prior to the recent correction, you would say anything that holds support is going to turn around and 1x, right? If buyers show up like they did in ZIL at 12 cents, right, and then it takes out the next level at 19, that it can wind up at 40. And we've just gone through a cycle where, there have been what you would call surprising rallies, right? Like Kusama massively went up, even though it was the Polkadot testnet, not Polkadot itself. Binance Coin, PancakeSwap, Dogecoin, etc. So does it make sense for Zilliqa to go from 19 cents to 40? Probably not. But if Cardano did it and all these other coins did it, Zilliqa might do it too. Okay, now that said, I think we're transitioning from where, the speculative, rebellious trades go up to where the high quality investment themes catch up. So if you want to do the Ethereum rebellion trade, it might be Solana. Zilliqa does have an attractive price. I understand that. But the coins that we've been talking about, and of course, don't forget about Polkadot, right? At Polkadot, everyone loved it at 50 and no one wanted it at 28. So it's hard to get excited about Ethereum alternatives with Polkadot on sale, Matic in moon mode, and the same thing with Solana. Because if you go to DeFi Llama, there are 5 or 6 projects running DeFi on Solana right now. Yeah, Solana's gone up a lot, but so did Ethereum in 2017. So I think you have to focus, like ZIL could go up. I hope it does. So could ZRX. However, I think the investment theme for the next 2 or 3 months is going to be quality stuff catching up with the speculative stuff.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Forrest, do you have any comments?
Yeah. So I think, Zilliqa being a scalability play, scalability has been a market narrative so far this market cycle. So I think Zilliqa could continue to do well. If we're looking at its trend line, it has seen a very solid trend line that it's held and recently bounced off of. So I don't see this as potentially, something that's going to completely or potentially completely tank. I think it'll continue to do well based off of its market narrative of scalability. That being said, as Ian and Bill mentioned, I'm seeing a clear correlation between the amount of development going on projects and their prices. In fact, that's my thesis or my theory as to why Binance Smart Chain pumped so much. I think that had a lot of development, a lot of Ethereum project portovers, right? PancakeSwap and some Venus, some other DeFi projects that were developed and essentially just copycats of Ethereum projects. But because that development happened so rapidly, that's why I think Binance or BNB did quite well. And that's my speculation for Avalanche in Solana right now. Is I think we're seeing some development and some DeFi projects get built on those blockchains and smart contract networks that I think is going to drive the price or continue driving the price. Whereas, maybe we're not seeing as much development go on Zilliqa, and that makes me want to, shy away from it in favor of Avalanche or Solana.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so we have almost 100 questions here. So I'm just going to go through and just kind of pick the questions I think would be the best to answer. So here's one. Would be great to have an update on sell in May and go away. Thank you. Bill, what's the update?
Okay. Well, as I note on the show, history repeats itself, but there's always a twist. The twist is that the sell in May correction happened in late April, and instead of it being a corrective month, it was, I don't know, a 1-week avalanche to the downside. So the corrective period that you would expect in mid to late spring seems to have already transpired. Like everyone got washed out in Bitcoin, right? Ethereum doesn't go down, which means there's a giant Michael Saylor of Ethereum, could be Mark Cuban. So the sell in May and go away was really sell in April and pray the market doesn't go to zero, because that's how sharply it went down. So I think this sets up what I would call the summer rally, right? In other words, we've got all these catalysts in June and July, and the premise behind sell in May and go away means sell in May and go on vacation and come back and buy the dip. It's really for a much slower moving market. So as with crypto, you can be both right and wrong. I expected it in May. It happened in April. I went, oh my God, I sold the dip. But then I got myself turned around. And now I'm seeing opportunities across the spectrum. So that's the update on that.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's go to the next question. Forrest, when do you think the spam resistance update for Nano comes out? And where do you see the price of Nano in a month? Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the GitHub right now on my screen for Nano, a version 22 update. You can find it just by Googling Nano GitHub version 22 or V22. It's at 93% complete. It's been kind of around this above 90% range for, I believe, the last 2 or 3 weeks now. The short answer is we don't know exactly how long the beta testing is going to take. I believe it's in beta testing right now. Hopefully it will come out soon. And once the spam resistant update comes out, I personally, it is my personal opinion, and as a result of this personal opinion, I have the largest stake in my entire portfolio in Nano. I personally believe that it will be the soundest, best form of digital cash ever created. And that if we look at Nano's market cap, I believe it's somewhere in the 80s right now. It's at 88. It's at a $1.4 billion market cap. I believe once the spam resistance update goes through, that it deserves to have a similar market cap as both Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, which are very similar products in the form of digital cash solutions with very low low transaction fees and faster speed than Bitcoin. Those are both at about $18 billion market caps. And once the spam resistance goes through, I believe that Nano should have the or can make the case for having that same valuation. Now, whether or not the entire market will reflect that sentiment is up in the air, right? Once this spam resistance update goes through, maybe the rest of the market doesn't catch on and doesn't feel the same way as I do. That's obviously obviously something that could happen. But I personally believe that it will deserve to be at about an $18 billion market cap. It's at a $1.4 billion market cap right now. So that would be a 10x. And that would be at about $100 Nano. Now that is extremely speculative, but I am personally putting my money where my mouth is there. Nano has become my largest allocation because I think there is disparity in divergence where it's valued right now and where it should be valued. But not a popular an investment for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't necessarily that bullish on Nano. I personally am. It's my favorite project and my biggest allocation.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. Let's check in with the audience in the comments. Let's see how they're doing. Okay, somebody's saying don't poke the bear. Then Zell just made contracts with 10 global footballers. This will attract the retailers. All right, thanks for posting that, Red Boy. Okay, James, Ian, so you would honestly sell all your Bitcoin for Ethereum? What do the other people on the panel think? Well, I mean, I don't own any Bitcoin, right? So, and then, first of all, if you go back and just look at, let me pull this up, right? Bitcoin's, in the last 1 year, Bitcoin, you've made 540%, basically, right? But somebody who had no Bitcoin and put that all into Ethereum, you would have made almost 1,300%. Right, so basically, people who believe in ETH becoming the future of sound money have already doubled their money versus people who are Bitcoin maximalists, right? So to me, Bitcoin will be flipped, and to me, Ethereum is undervalued. So yes, it's risky, but I don't really see any reason to hold Bitcoin in a bull market. Right? Let me emphasize bull market, right? Because in a bull market, the whole point is most people are trying to make more Bitcoin, right? They're trying to beat Bitcoin, and how do you beat Bitcoin if you're holding Bitcoin, right? So the only time I really see to possibly hold Bitcoin is maybe in a bear market when the market is correcting, but at that point we have stable coins, or you just cash out, right? So I think the fact of having stable coins, taking profits, cashing out, is really the replacement to holding Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is an asset that's not meant to give you upside, but the larger it gets, the less upside there is versus lower cap coins, even Ethereum, right? So to me, I don't really see why I should hold Bitcoin, especially if I'm making more money holding Ethereum. But anyway, Forrest, your comments on Bitcoin versus Ethereum?
Yep. So I don't own any Bitcoin either, other than what's in my trading account. Bitcoin has a very nice chart that I personally like to trade on leverage. So I do obviously have some exposure to it there. But in my actual portfolio, I don't own any Bitcoin. I transitioned all of that into Ethereum maybe by October, November, December, Q4 of last year. I believe, like Ian, that Ethereum is probably going to flip Bitcoin. And the reason I believe that is because Bitcoin's only value proposition is that it's a store of value. It can't make a claim to being digital cash because the transaction fees and transaction times are just too high to be digital cash. So it's fallen back on this last leg of value proposition of store of value. And once EIP 1559 goes through for Ethereum, once proof of stake is here and Ethereum becomes deflationary, it will have sounder tokenomics in terms of what makes a good store of value than Bitcoin will. And because of that, and in addition to all the utility Ethereum has as far as transaction fees in the DeFi network that it's built, I see institutions moving into Ethereum over Bitcoin. Why hold a worse store of value when you can hold a better store of value with better tokenomics that also has insane amounts of utility in the DeFi space? There's no reason to own Bitcoin over Ethereum once those two changes go through. So that's my opinion.
All right, some comments from the audience. Gravity says, I also think Ether will flip BTC, but Bitcoin was a better investment before this bull market. Then Ether proved itself now. Well, I mean, Bitcoin holds its value in a bear market, right? I'm definitely not saying that's not the case. But what I'm saying right now, we're in a bull run, right? And we're trying to make more money. So Bitcoin will go up slower because it's the biggest coin in the world versus low cap coins, right? It's basically alt season. So basically in a bull market, I'm basically thinking alt season, right? Then a few more comments here. ETH bigger play than BTC for sure, says CoinBitXY. Ruben says stablecoin for the last days of the bull run. Sounds good. Joe says Polkadot will flip Ethereum. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So tell us what you think. Do you think it makes sense to be all in on Ethereum versus Bitcoin? Tell us what you think down below. Okay. Let's move on to the next question here. I'm up 5x on VeChain. Want to swing it into audio, but I'm worried that I'm chasing. Not looking for financial advice, but how do I go about figuring out if this is a good decision on the charts? Thanks. So basically, we'll make this a bigger question. So how do you know whether you're chasing? First?
Yeah. So I mean, with VeChain in particular, we looked at VeChain at the beginning of this live stream. VeChain is in its top band. All right. So if I were to own VeChain right now, I'd either be looking to take some profits or take some profits when it reaches the top green band that it's recently reached at. 28 cents. Now, does that mean sell everything? Well, if you're up 5x and this is a coin that has a ton of momentum and is continuing to perform extremely well in a bull market, sometimes you just want to let your winners run. So maybe take some profits and then you can always move those profits into audio. Now, personally on audio, we reached $5. You could have had a chance to get in at about $1.50 or so on the dip, but it's still below its all-time high. And we've got that vesting that happened on April 23rd that everybody was worried about, the dilution event for audio. And that's around the time that audio actually bottomed out. We've got that behind us, as Bill mentioned earlier in the stream. So I would not be surprised if audio can get another rally or two in before its next dilution event 3 months from now. So I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. I don't think getting into audio right now, while it's still not even in the top 100 by market cap, is necessarily chasing, especially if you plan on holding it for the long term. But I also wouldn't necessarily dump all of a coin that's performed extremely well for me. I'd take some profits on it, definitely. Look for a solid exit around a key, trend line exit. But definitely, I don't think audio is chasing right now.
All right. And Bill, so the question is, how do you know when you're chasing the coin?
All right. Well, you know you're chasing a coin when you ask, "Am I chasing a coin?" The question is, what are you chasing? That's the question, right? Okay. So Forrest basically said what needs to be said about VeChain. If you have a 5x, congratulations, pay yourself. And again, you don't have to take all the money out of VeChain. As a matter of fact, I don't know that makes sense. The trend is your friend. But if all of a sudden you've got money to play with, if audio started at 50 cents and went to $5 and it's now at 270, I don't think chasing constitutes buying at 270. Right? Chasing was buying it at $5. Buying it at 270, even though it's starting to build upward momentum, there's a difference between chasing and buying a breakout. I think with audio, right, and all these other coins that we talked about, I mean, we did a report on Rarible. So cool that Forrest mentioned that. All these other coins, they're just now breaking out. So if you've got money from another trade and you like something else, we love you. We want you to watch the show. We want you to dial in, but you're smarter than you think. You've already answered your own question. Buying stuff that's washed out, that's turning around, like I noticed Liquity just turned around as we were talking about it. It's a good idea. Do it. Not investment advice, but do it as in, take profits and stuff that's mooned to buy dips in higher quality projects.
All right. Thank you, Bill and Forrest. Okay, so let's begin to wrap up the show. Once again, if you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, put on alerts, notifications, share this video with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend that not being in crypto is a financial crime, and not joining Token Metrics is also a financial crime. All right, and if you enjoy all our analysis, be sure to join Token Metrics because we have a daily newsletter every single day, 7 days a week. One of the few newsletters out there that's put out 7 days a week in all of crypto with market updates, our projects that we like, from code reviews to watch list projects. And if you're in the pro plan, we also have a weekly webinar every single week, every Wednesday. That goes on for 2 hours, just like this, but just with our professional plan customers. So that being said, let's go through a few last words. Bill, last words to our crypto family.
Buy breakouts. The levered drop is over. It's never easy in a bull market, right? After the recent correction, people are afraid, and some things didn't dip at all. So think about it. You're afraid to buy some coins because they dipped, like audio. You're afraid to buy Ethereum because it's at its all-time high and it won't dip, even though you just said you're afraid to buy dips. So you don't want to buy a dip and you don't want to buy it at its high. And this is what bull markets do to your mind. They make you afraid to do anything. Now, I don't want you to FOMO into, you know, a vaporware altcoin, but if you see quality coins start turning, or if you see momentum building in something that has just bounced after a correction, don't be afraid to go with it, or just flat out, don't be afraid. You're smarter than you think you are. And if you want to do something and there's some stupid voice in your head telling you to be afraid, that stupid voice in your head is wrong 95% of the time, unless you're standing in front of a saber-toothed tiger. Then you can be afraid. Short of the saber-toothed tiger, the voice in your head talking you out of buying a quality coin is wrong.
All right. Great words, Bill. Forrest?
Yeah, I'm going to steal some words from Bill that he just mentioned earlier, and that's pay yourself. And I don't necessarily mean right now, unless you've been in something that's recently been pumping, and then maybe it's not a bad idea like VeChain or some of these other like Phantom, Polygon, to maybe pay yourself a small amount, maybe take 10% off the table, maybe take out your initial investment. But I'm more talking about we just finished an entire live stream where the sentiment was extremely bullish, right? So we're all kind of expecting, or we have the sentiment that there may be another breakout here. We've already started to see some coins break out, Polygon being one of those, Phantom being another. All right, as more altcoins continue to break out, make sure, and this is not financial advice, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is not paying yourself and watching it plummet down to zero, or down to, plummet down 40, 50% in a correction or in a bear market. So I'd say make sure you're paying yourself if you make the correct pick. Making the correct pick is only half the battle. The other half is actually making sure that you pay yourself before it drops or dips.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. And my last words to our audience and our customers, thank you. First of all, we just crossed 60K subs on YouTube, which is great. So
we just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
Yeah, we would not be here without you. You guys always tune in every single time, every single Sunday. So if you've been enjoying these Sunday live streams, guess what? Our team will be making new content. We talked about Token Metrics TV. It's about to launch very, very soon. So if you're a customer, if you're on our email list, stay tuned. We'll have a big update in terms of the launch date, but Token Metrics TV is coming. We'll have 7 shows, not 1, not 2, 7 shows. These will be shows that basically Bill will be having a daily market update. First, we'll have 2 shows, Hidden Gems, where he goes through basically projects where we do fundamental analysis on every single week. Then he'll also have the price predictions. I'll also have my own show called Moon Mission, where I go through, similar to what I was doing back in 2017 days, and just do deep dives on interesting projects and interesting things in the space. So I've already done a deep dive on Liquity, basically going through how somebody could use Liquity to borrow against their Ethereum and not have to sell. Right? Basically, how to not have to pay capital gains taxes the legal way. Right? So if you enjoy that content, stay tuned. TMTV is right around the corner. And thank you, everybody. And as we like to say,
we just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Thank you, Crypto family. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Forrest. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Life-changing money to a point where you can buy your mom and dad a brand new house, right? You can pay off your college loans. You can invest in your future, not have to work again, pursue your dreams, your passion, not have to have a job, work that 9-to-5 grind, right? Break the system, hack the system. This is what this show is all about.
They said relax, but never retire. feeling detached, never inspired. They told me relax, but I can't retire. I'm feeling detached, never inspired. Like I would live on, but never relied. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They living a lie. Now here's the mission, die or decide. You would die. The corporate life is so redundant when your freedom isn't free. It comes to being someone, just believe that you can be. And now how can I have hunger when they tell me when to eat? How can I lead others when they tell me who to meet? Then they tell me when to come and then they tell me when to leave. They say how much they give and then forget how much I need. It's the precious to succeed with the lessons of the greed. I question who to be and saw this message is in me. I gotta know.
Life-changing money.
I wanna work for myself, I gotta work for myself, I gotta go.
You can invest in your future, not
Raise
have to work
spirits to the
again.
moon, put nerves on the shelf, I gotta know.
Pursue your dreams, your
I
passion.
wanna stay free or want the safety, I gotta go.
Break the system, hack the system.
Although they paid me,
This is what the
they
show's
never
all
made
about.
me. I wanna relax, forever retire. I wanna detach, I'm feeling inspired. They told me relax, but I can't retire. I gotta detach, gotta decide. They got me thinking I would live on, but never rely. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They live in a lie. Now here's the mission, die or decide. You or die now. Hey, hey, I will never be a wage slave. I gotta stay made. Hey, hey, hey. I used to see this in the 8th grade. Wasn't a day late. Hey, hey. Hey, I found the love that I was seeking, life that I'm leading. Hey, 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 now I can do this every weekend, cause I'm a free man. I was in Tokyo, riding the job wheel, the rodeo, dancing with the devil for payment. I couldn't do-si-do, but I was driven. The mission gave me an open road. Made a decision to whip him like it's a motor show. 6-figure slave, I was paid, wasn't well though. Heard of crypto underground, it became my railroad. Started making earnest money, it's for whom the bell tolls. Went from wishing for sales closed to sales. Now I can relax, forever retire. Now I'm detached, forever inspired. Now I can relax, forever retire. I had to detach, had to decide. And now I'm thinking I can live on, and not just survive. You know this system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They live in a lie. I made a mission, die or decide. Do or die now. Crypto retirement, yeah, that's where my mind went. Started thinking higher, now they can't hire my time spent. No, not retire like 65 when your job ends. More like an island, and if I'm by it, I buy it. Free travel, dealership, sweet dabble. I reign like Leeds Castle, you reign like Seattle. We went from sheep cattle to eating beef and mackerel at feasts. No lassos, just beliefs me in a saddle. You gotta know.
Like life-changing, like
You wanna work for yourself, you gotta work for yourself, you gotta go.
not have to work again.
Raise spirits to the moon, put nerves on the shelf, you gotta know.
Pursue your dreams, your
You
passion.
wanna stay free or want the safety, you gotta go.
This is what the show is all about.
Although they paid you, they never made you. No, we can relax, forever retire. Now we detach, forever inspired. Now we can relax, forever retire. We had to detach, had to decide. And now we know that we can live on and not just survive. We left the system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They live in a lie. We made a mission, die or decide. Do or die now.
I'm here to put you guys on and share all the different resources and tips I come across in my journey to making $1 million and making $1 billion, right? I'm trying to share this with the world for free. I'm not here to sell you some $2,000 course, ebook, webinar, whatever, right? I'm here to put you guys on the game for free, open source, right? The same model as blockchain, Bitcoin, or these cryptocurrencies. I'm here to share everything with you guys.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.